Hey ESGN Nation, and welcome back to another episode here on the channel as we're back here for some more Madden 22 with the Cleveland Browns franchise as we're wrapping up the first off season here and we're getting ready to go into the first NFL draft. Now, of course, you all know that the series is ending, so after this episode, this will be probably the last time we'll see and talk about this series as we'll wrap it up. I was thinking about doing a long-term sim, but I was like, no, because I've been saying that we might end up turning this to be a live stream series here on YouTube, and I think I may end up doing that. So as we take a look here, as you see, we got a lot of needs of interest for our team. There you see some of the things that some of the players they say we should go after if they're available. And of course, we're going to go ahead and start this draft. So we're kind of focusing on the offensive line because we want to make sure that's healthy. Most important because to keep our quarterback upright, but just as well to keep the great running that we had and blocking that we got from this past season when we had Nick Chubb, and now of course our future running back is going to be Kareem Hunt. So as you see, Atlanta took Stan Russell, the left or the right end, as their number one pick. Lions are going to be next on the clock. They're going to take Larry Coleman, who is a quarterback from Boston College. So they are going to go after a quarterback in their first pick, their second pick overall here in the draft this season. Washington's next, and we'll see who they are going to pick up. And Washington, they're going to take Wendell Son. So that's going to be very cool to see. As Wendell Son, our Heisman Trophy winner from our Holly Scotty series, you guys remember that. Definitely go check out that series if you haven't watched it yet. He was in season 1 to about season 4. He stayed all 4 years there and finally helped us win. He got us to win a championship in our second season. As for his quarterback, there you see Alex Flanagan. He is going to go to Pittsburgh to play for the Steelers. And that's going to be really cool because now that's a storyline that we can go into the second season. It's like, okay, Alex Flanagan, he was one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. Now he's going to go to Seattle, and that's a great storyline there. We have now going to be facing him. Rashad Mann, left tackle there for the Eagles. He is now a part of the Eagles there in Philly, so going to be a part of a good fan base there. Oakland, or I should say not Oakland, I should say the Las Vegas Raiders are next, and they'll take Blanco from the Highland Scotty series there, the C cornerback there, who was he was a beast. He did a great job of reading quarterbacks and just being at the ball at all times for the most part there. So they got a good pick there. Tyler Short, the right tackle from Kansas. Now he was a monster towards us. If you remember in I think season 2 of the Highland Scotties, we played against Kansas and he was just a beast on us, and I decided to put him in the series there. So he's going to go to the Texans. As we roll on here and see Raphael Crowder, wide receiver from Michigan. That's a CP generated character there. He is now going to go to Los Angeles to play for the Chargers. So congrats to him. And now the Eagles are on the clock again as they get another first round pick here at pick number 9. And we'll see who this is. Of course, we're going to just show the first round picks, and then we're kind of going to fly through, with the exception of if there's any players from the Highland Skies that show up. Now, I will say there is a link down below in the description there for you all to look at. You guys can click on that link and go to watch the entirety. It is edited somewhat, but for the most part, it's the entirety of the draft. So you guys can see what your favorite teams, who they drafted, and of course, see where some of the Highland Scotty players went to. As we see that the Jets picked up Kenny Curtis, the right guard from the Highland Scotty series there. Of course, remember, all the Highland Scotty players will be going here as Emporia State. That's at least the only small school in Kansas I can pick because one, Highland's not in that school or in the game here, and two, I went to Emporia State, so Stingers up there, the Emporia State Hornets there. So I went to that school, very proud, got my degree. So yeah, I'm a Hornet. As we take a look here, David George, right tackle from Michigan State, is now going to go to there in the frozen tundra. Terrence Blair, wide receiver for the Highland Scotties, now going to be part of the Lions. So that's going to be really cool to see. I think that's going to be a good pick for them. For a great wide receiver. I think he might have a star dev to him, so that's going to be really helpful for them. Not a Megatron-esque type of wide receiver. I would say more like, I don't know, maybe a little bit more of a Cooper Kupp type of feel to him. So that should help him out. And then, of course, take a look at some other picks here. Chris Bass from USC. He's a outside linebacker, left outside linebacker. So he is now going to Denver. Jaguars are now on the clock. And we'll see what the Jaguars. Oh, Jaguars pick up one of our players from Highland Scotties. Grady Little, my favorite by far one of my favorite wide receivers. Fortunately, he did not have the type of career I thought he was going to have. But hey, he definitely helped us out a lot in that series, winning some couple of championships there. And congrats to him. He is going to Jacksonville. So he'll be playing there with Sunshine there. Lawrence. T-Law. As Tyler Smith there for the Clemson player, left guard, I should say, is going to go to the Vikings. Carolina, you're on the clock. And Carolina is going to pick it up David Candidate from Missouri, left in there. So nice job there. Bills now on the clock. We'll see who the Bills are going to pick up in this first round. As we're getting closer and closer to our pick. And this is going to be Chuck Nixon from defensive tackle from LSU. So congratulations there. A nice pickup there for the Buffalo Bills. Miami, you're on the clock. Now here we'll see what Miami's going to go after here. And they're going to go after one of our guys there. Nice. Damian Adams. Damian Adams, one of those other key players that he made more of an impact, I think, in the second season with the Highland Scotties. And he did a great job there towards the end of his career there, his collegiate career. And really happy to see him be a first round pick. I thought maybe he'll be a more of a second round pick, actually, if I really be honest with myself, with him in that. But congratulations to him. Let me see some more players here that are being picked up. Looks like the Giants picked up a left in. Eagles are back on the clock here again. And the Eagles are going to pick Dennis Richardson, wide receiver from Washington. So not a good, decent pick there from him. I think he was on the board there for a lot of different teams there early on in the draft, and the first two mock drafts there. And we'll see who Baltimore is going to pick up. And obviously, we would be interested in this one here, as we'll see they'll pick a Jerome Hardsley, defensive end, or I should say defensive tackle there from Louisville. So definitely a young man that we're going to have to watch out for next season. We'll, of course, let's see what his overall is and see how much of an impact he will be towards us defensively. Kansas City Chiefs now on the clock here. We'll see who the Chiefs are going to pick up. And Chiefs are going to pick up a corner there, Matt Lemon, as he is from LSU. So they're going to bring up, they're going to work on the defensive side of things there, help themselves. So not bad job there, as they're able to do that. As Devin Turner from Penn State, halfback there for the New York Jets. So congratulations to the Jets. They got a nice halfback. He's one of the top. He's like one of the top three halfbacks that a lot of teams are kind of eyeballing. Besides Obviously, Kason, of course, being a Heisman Trophy winner. Art, let's see, Alex Hartwell from Vanderbilt, middle linebacker. Another great one of those great, decent middle defensive backs in this draft class this season. Saints now on the clock, and they're going to get McCain, defensive tackle. Brandon McCain from Michigan State, as he will be now part of the Saints. As we'll take a look here to see what the Cowboys are going to do next, as they make their first pick here in the first round. And they're going to pick Marcus Dunlap, left guard from the University of Southern Florida. So, nice job picking up him. He's one of those. I think he was the top one of the top. He was one of the top guys there in the first round there to do something. And he looked like he kind of dropped down some of the draft board. But there you see Deshaun Robinson, defensive tackle from the Highland Scotty series of ours. He did a great job there for us defensively. And now I'm kind of scared to see what he can do now here in the NFL with the abilities that he has done and put out. And what he's done in the collision level, we'll see what he can do now professionally. Carl Boyd, left end there from Oklahoma. He will be going to Tampa this season. As now the Browns are on the clock. We'll see who the Browns are going to pick. And there's some pretty good, interesting choices on our board here. There's some pretty good, decent names still here early. As there's the pick that they wanted to go after. That is Chamberlain, the defensive tackle. He's projected to be a late first, early second round pick. And then you see Cole Aldridge there as well from Texas Tech, I believe. He is a outside linebacker that we also could possibly go after, as well as Mitch Greer, another player that we were looking at as well. Jeremy Nixon, the day 3 guy. And then, of course, Devon Marquardt, one of our Highland Scotty players that we could possibly go after. He's a right outside linebacker. That is a position of need, but I don't think he's going to be a position. It's not something that we need right off the bat there, because like I said, we got some pretty decent guys there. We can still have, because really true, we need a middle linebacker to help. Actually, 2 middle linebackers, but we could easily bring one of those, those other guys over to the middle linebacker position. So as we kind of look around here, we're just kind of seeing. At this point, I was kind of looking at my notes and trying to see what would be a good fit there. Of course, like I kept looking at Marquardt, but at the same time thinking like, nah, we don't really need Marquardt because, like I said, he could, he's a first, second round guy. We still got another pick coming up here after this one, so we decided to go ahead and go with Chamberlain, as he fits, top fit there. We're one of his top fits. And it looks like a pretty good choice. Of course, we just don't know anything about his tackling, but it got good block shedding. And then there you see some other attributes of his that are pretty good. And I think I feel comfortable with for the most part here. So I think we should just go ahead and pull the trigger and see if let's see what we can do with him. There you see his combine and his pro day, and of course his skills there. Stamina not the greatest. We're not too much worried about that. But play recognition, we don't know nothing about. Impact. But, take a look. We go ahead and draft him. He's a hidden dev. So that is nice. So we'll have to find out what his hidden dev is. Of course, he's going to be a starter right off the bat for us for the most part. There you see Atlanta. Damn you. They took Marquardt. So, but hey, we need to work on defensive line, and really we need an offensive line as well. But some of those offensive linemen that we're looking at, the guards that we're looking at, they were further on down, late second round, early third round. Oh, by far one of my favorite tight ends, I think I can say in all the football games, all the college football games I've played. This man right here, Hunter Cannon, has did some great things. You guys got to go check out him on that series over there, on the Highland Scotty series. He was so fun to have on the team, as well as Ryan Ashley, who made a big impact towards the end of his career, helped us out a lot. there. He is now with, I believe, with Pittsburgh. We are now on the clock, as you see the Bucks go ahead and they take a player here. So again, looking around here, we're seeing some of these players that are still on the board. And now the question is, do we go offensive line or do we stay with the defense? This time maybe looking at the secondaries here. And we got some pretty good guys. You got Tolbert as well as a free safety, but we don't need no free safety help there. But like I said, in that previous episode of the offseason, stupid teams get stupid prizes, and if they leave those prizes out there for us, and we, it's obviously a position of need, we're gonna go ahead and take them if they're available. Because I do remember some of the attributes I put on some of those Hyde and Scotty players, but not all of them. But at the same time, I'm not gonna try to get every single Hyde and Scotty player that's out there. So we go with Hayden Peterson, and I decided, no, we're not going to go with him, actually. Tricked you. So we're just kind of looking around here. Wilkins is another player. He's a halfback, but we're going like, I was kind of thinking like, no, we probably get him, early in the third round. Because we do, if I believe right, we have 2 third-round picks coming up. So we could get somebody here now and then come back and get him if he's available. And I think we'll just be like one. I think we're like the second pick or third pick in the next round. So we're kind of looking around here. Leo Jackson. I looked at his numbers before. They look like pretty good numbers. He's definitely a fit for us. A run stopper. That's what we kind of need, because that's what this defense we're kind of focusing on. And then take a look at his numbers there, his reps. He had pretty good reps. He's a fit for us, which is even better. We don't know too much about his key ratings, except for his tackle and his block shedding. Sometimes you just kind of have to just throw it in the, throw caution to the wind and see what happens. But there you see some questionable numbers, questionable things we can work on. But we can go ahead and, look, a hidden dev. Whoop, whoop. Let's get it. Yes, nice. So Leo Jackson, now a new member of the Cleveland Browns. He'll be right there in those positions there, in the tackle positions that we obviously had to replace because we lost 2 great defensive tackles there that we've been looking for, that we had to replace because of Jackson and Billings leaving. So I think we fill that void there for the time being. So we'll go on, and there's a defensive tackle from Wisconsin. So nice job. So now we get the next pick. I thought we maybe had the second or third pick in the third round, but no, we got the first pick in the next round. This would have been the Atlanta pick. So we get to go back here again, and now maybe we can go something on the offensive side of things. Maybe we can pick up an offensive lineman that we've been looking for. But also too, these wide receivers, some of these halfbacks are kind of, I get kind of giddy. I'm like, no, okay, we gotta refocus. We gotta think about this. We need offensive line. But we're still looking at some of these guys here that have kind of dropped out of the second round now into the third round, which, that's where they were projected to be. So they're just kind of looking around at a lot of the different players and what they're offering, what they could offer for us, and what we could get out of them. Of course, we got 50%, of knowing their abilities here for the most part here. So just trying to look around here, see what we can do, and looking at some of our favorites, see if our favorites are still on the board here. And of course, there you see, we got Sheldon Sherman still there. Ooh. Left in there, left in, who could be a good pass rusher. If you guys remember the series there, he was a monster. He just devoured quarterbacks like nobody's business. Like they're going out of fashion, out of style. He's putting them almost to extinction in a lot of games there. But yeah, definitely a player I would love to get if we can't find who we were looking for here in this one. We might have to take Sheldon, because like I said, I'm a big fan of his. I was so when we started that series there, he was one of the random generated players that we got, and I'm like, wow, like this guy is gonna be a beast for us. And remember, he started off as a sophomore in that series, because remember, we only had freshmen and sophomores in that Highland Scotty series. We take a look here, and we're just kind of looking around at the outside linebackers, which is also a position need. But there you see Mitch Greer. We look at him. His numbers look pretty good, pretty solid in a lot of areas there. He's in the top 10 in a lot of the some of the stuff you see here from the combine and from the pro day. And I think, he's pretty impressive. He could be definitely a player that we can go after for the either outside position, no matter which side of it is, left or right. We're just kind of looking around, see what his core attributes are, and there's still some question marks for him for the most part. So far, we've got every pick that we've made. We've had a decent, hidden dev, but there you see he's normal, so that's fine. He can't always be perfect. You can't always get all the hidden devs. But a normal player, and of course, a normal player can eventually, if you work with him long enough and whatnot, you can make him to a superstar or whatever. Oh, Kendrick Golden, he is going to Washington, looks like, and then Ishmael Page, wide receiver for the Highland Scotties, is going to Pittsburgh. So he's going to be teamed up there with his quarterback. As you see, Tolbert there for Highlands going to the Texans, but it looks like Page and as you see, Barrow going to the Packers, and Reed going to the Giants. So we get back our next pick here, third round, our 32nd pick, our normal pick. But it looks like Page and Flanagan going to team up again. Nice. That's going to be a nice little setup there between those two there. Nice little friendship. They've good duo there that we had at Highland. As we take a look here, looking at the right guard or left guards here, and Terrell and Austin Meadows. Austin Meadows is a player that I've been keeping a close eye on for a while there, and he's one of the. I think really true. I think we should go ahead and pick him up. This would be I think really truly, we need to go ahead and pick him up, because I looked at his numbers and looked at his stats and all that kind of stuff throughout the season, and he looked like he was really a good player. But he's a day 3 guy. We're in that area of trying to pick up day 3 guys, but also too at the same time you got Rudy Terrell, who's kind of interesting as well. So it's kind of a flip of a coin here. Who do we pick? Then we start thinking, like, you know what? Sheldon Sherman was out there. We can still pick him up. He's a 3rd, 4th round guy. We're in the bottom of the 3rd round. He could easily drift. Obviously we're 3rd round, so we're technically also we're also in the 4th round. So we could pick him up. Then we started looking at Mixon, Triplet, and of course O'Sullivan. But then we like, you know what? Let's screw it. Let's just go ahead and get Sheldon Sherman. Top fit, Kansas City, Chicago, and Baltimore. If Baltimore's interested in him, then we got to be interested in him. So we went ahead, and I think we go ahead and we pick him. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a hidden dev. And I hate to spoil it, but he's a superstar dev, which we'll find out a little later on here, if I'm not mistaken. As Sheldon Sherman will be a part of our squad here. Take a look at some of his core attributes here, and I had to. I mean, this was this. I don't see what team did not want to pick him up, but apparently he was just not good enough for anybody but us. So I said, like I said, stupid people get stupid prizes. Thanks, thanks, stupid people, because we got a sweet prize now. So Sheldon Sherman is going to be our left end. He can learn a lot from. I really feel like he has that. He's almost on the same level as Garrett. Like, that would be a good, like, having Garrett on the right, have him on the left. Ooh, watch out, quarterbacks. It's gonna be a long day for y'all. George Hale is the next player that get picked up there. That's from Atlanta. He's a center back from Stanford. So we get the second pick in the 4th round. And we take a look here. We got a couple of good, decent players here, and our favorites that are still on the board. Bass, free safety, but again, don't need help with the free safety issues. O'Sullivan, Triplet, as well as Mixon there in the middle linebacker position. We started looking at the guards now again, and again, Austin Meadows kept just being one of those players. Is like, pick me, hurry up and pick me. You need me on your offensive line. So again, we keep looking around here and just kind of trying to make at this point here, you're in the 4th round. There's still some pretty good, decent players out here. A lot of 2nd to 3rd round projection guys that we can get, but they were on the defensive side of things. I'm like, I'm kind of almost done with the defensive side of things. I kind of need to work on. I mean, really, truly, at this point, I was kind of thinking like, I need to work on the offense. Like, offense is going to be very important for us this year because, we lost one of our offensive linemen that's been with this organization for a long time, and we need somebody to take that, try to plug that void. So we were looking around here. Rudy Terrell, again, another player that we just kind of kept screaming at me that we should go after. Him and Austin Meadows. Again, both of those two, again, it was hard. It's hard to decide who we're going to go after. They both have some good, interesting things, but you know what? We decided to go with Rudy. So Rudy Terrell, hidden dev. Wow. So I'm really happy about that. He's from Ole Miss, 21 years of age, 6'4", 300 pounds. We'll find out what his archetype is later on here as we, of course, we have to get those 500 snaps they have to be a part of to order to unlock their hidden dev. So I think we got a decent left guard. I wish we picked up Austin Meadows because I feel like I almost feel like he was a better choice, but we'll find out. So we'll go to the end of the 4th round here. We got our 32nd pick, and again, we're looking at some players here. You got some middle, right outside linebackers, defensive tackles here. We're not really too much worried about defensive tackles, but there are some decent ones in there because some of those ones I created, and I'm like, yeah, nobody has picked them up yet, and this is going to be very interesting how that's all going to be with some of those players. I don't know what they're not seeing, but yeah, or they're not, they figure like, oh, they're down there, but there are actually some ones that we've created that were kind of like, hey, you need to pick him up because if you don't, and that was sake for the computer's sake there to kind of help the computer make the competition better for the most part. And I know I'm giving away some things here, but yeah, we're taking a look at some middle linebackers there. Patrick Jones being one of those players there. I believe Austin Meadows is still on here. That he could still be picked up. Anyways, look at Antonio Torrance. There you see, we look at him. Look at PJ Sutton, middle linebacker there. So I guess in this point here, I was kind of looking at middle linebackers and just trying to see what the best, better suit was. Christian Ware was another one. You got teams like the Cardinals, Seahawks, and the Rams. So basically, more of NFC West type teams were looking at him. John Young, another player that the NFC West division was kind of looking at. Randall Page is another player there from Oklahoma that a lot of people, a lot of those Western teams were kind of looking at there as well. And I was looking at as well. They were on my list of some of the middle linebackers that we can go after. Jermichael Johnson. Look at his numbers there from North Carolina. Cody O'Sullivan definitely had piqued my interest there, but I started looking at his pro day. I'm like, ooh, his pro day was not the best at all, but his stamina was right there where we needed. But of course, he has some other issues there, zone coverage, catching, which I'm not too worried about that, but awareness was an issue. That's something we'll probably have to work on. But his potential, he's undrafted free agent. So, if he's still around, we probably could pick him up, get him dirt cheap. He probably has a low overall. And it's be a player that we can... Whoa! Wait a minute. Look at that. A hidden dev. So it's definitely a player that has a lot of work to do, but if we can find out what that hidden dev is, he can, get his XP accelerated quickly. And that's a player that was not even created by us. That was clearly the computer created that one. So as we go ahead and take a look here, now we go into the 6th round, and we look at some players here. You got a lot of undrafted free agents that are projected to be, or day 3 guys. And again, just kind of looking around, seeing what we can pick up. Rucker is the halfback, I believe, that we're kind of looking at. Take a look at some of the other players on the board, and a lot of them, there are a lot of wide receivers here, which we don't really need. They're not a player of need. Of course, you can always bring in a wide receiver. You never know, you might have that in that wide receiver that can be a difference maker, be not necessarily get not a lot of reps, but can get a few reps there to help you out in a bind and stuff like that. Take some pressure off of the other wide receivers and get them in, maybe even put them in a halfback role of some sort of jet sweeps, stuff like that, wildcat sort of like position. But Ernest Rucker, we looked at him, and there you see he's from Florida, halfback. So he's from Florida. He's probably pretty good. You see the Jets, Cardinals, and Miami looking at him as some of his top fits there. Take a look at his combine and pro day. And a pretty, some decent numbers there, some pretty good numbers, top 10 in a lot of different areas there when it comes to halfbacks. But the question is, do we need a halfback? And I started looking at some of his core attributes there. I'm like, we do need a third halfback, as a kind of a third down back, kind of help us in, situations maybe in kick return or punt return situations, stuff like that. It's not an area of need, but you know what? We decided to go with it, and look, a hidden dev there. Nice job. Look at that acceleration, 90 acceleration. Beautiful job there. So we went ahead and picked him up. So Ernest Rucker is now part of the Cleveland Browns, halfback from Florida. So that is nice to see. As we move along here, lines are on, of course, will be on the clock here, and we'll go ahead and get to the next user pick here, and we'll flash forward now to that pick, and we'll see. So we'll go ahead and take a look here. Now we're going to go ahead and this is our 6th round pick, our 6th round pick. And I told you some of these picks towards later on we're going to kind of get rid of because there's nothing there really on the board at this point here, because I was looking at it and there was not too many people left on there that I would considered going after or picking up or anything like that. So we decided to go ahead and just make some trades here with a couple different teams and try to see what we can do for them. But here's the look at our draft so far here. And looks like our draft's going to be pretty good. Chamberlain right there, hidden overall dev there, and I'm pretty happy with that pick right there. Yeah, for the most part, I think that if Chamberlain, if he's got a good hidden dev there, I mean he's 78 overall, he's definitely going to be on that defensive line for us. And looking at some of his abilities there, which there's some areas that he obviously needs some room of improvement. But I think for the most part here, I think he is going to be a monster for us on that interior. And he's definitely going to help us be able to stop a lot of running games for a lot of different teams. Same thing with Leo Jackson. I think those were the first two I really was impressed with. Now, even though Leo Jackson does have a lower overall, not where I was thinking he would be at. I would think he would be somewhere close to what Chamberlain's was, but it's actually he's 5 below Chamberlain at 73 overall. Mitch Greer, there you see 71 overall, middle or outside linebacker for the left side there. That's gonna be nice there. We can move him around if we need to be. If we need to. I think we got a middle linebacker, but like I said, the linebacker situation is so interchangeable that we can work with a lot of guys and get those guys going. Sheldon Sherman, of course, there he is, looking good in that Browns uniform there. Hidden Dev, he is definitely going to be a beast on that left-hand side of the field, and really, truly, I mean, he's going to be helpful there with Myles Garrett on the opposite side of him, and be able to really put on a show here for a lot of the Browns fans here, and really, hopefully, if he like he did in college there, really improve his ability when it comes to pass rushing. Rudy Terrell, there you see we've picked him up. I think Austin Meadows, I think eventually did get picked up, but we got a hidden dev there from Terrell. 69 overall, giggity. And not too bad there for his numbers there. Great strength. Of course, you know, his impact blocking, pass blocking, run blocking is going to have definitely drastically improve. But with a little help with him, and of course, if we can get him one of those three people that get trained, early on in his career, look out. He's going to be he's going to be awesome for us. O'Sullivan as well, middle linebacker, 66 overall. He's going to be a guy that also we could possibly work with to get better. As well as Bass here, free safety. We went ahead and got him. I think this was a pick that I accidentally picked up, and it actually worked out for us. So we're going to see what we can do with him. And again, he could be someone that we could put in the free safety position. I wouldn't mind trying him maybe as a corner at some point, but I think we're pretty good at corners for the time being. And then Rucker in the backfield there for offensively does a great job there for us. He should be doing a great job for us, because look at those numbers there. That's just great. Trucking and stiff arm still, not a big issue, but something. And of course, we can always work on his short catch and all that kind of stuff there for him. So, for the most part here, upper 70s down to Bass was a 78, and that was a 5th round pick, which is crazy. But for the most part, I think we did pretty well for ourselves. I'm pretty happy with the team. We got a lot of hidden devs. I'm hoping they're I imagine probably a star, and probably we've got a superstar. I know for sure Sheldon Sherman is a superstar, but everybody else we don't know. I really don't know yet. And that's the fun part about this all. And we can get them in their training and get those extra XP going into the season 2. Look out. We could be on the roll here again to do something. And of course, there you see we got a lot of our practice squad players on board. And of course, a lot of them will, some of them will be making the team this year. Others probably not. So we'll make some changes. We'll make some cuts as we go along. But I think for the most part here, I'm really impressed with our team. We lost quite a bit, which it hurt, because we couldn't sign the ones we wanted to sign. But at the same time, I think with the new people that we got in here, I think it's gonna be helpful. I feel more relieved, more excited about the season ahead, and I cannot wait to see what this team can do. And like I said, unfortunately this series is gonna come to an end, but we'll bring it back in a live stream format of some sort here. And of course, once I find out and figure out what night that's going to be on, we'll definitely play 2 or 3 games a stream, and just kind of follow these guys along, see what they're doing here on the channel. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. I'm hoping that you guys will be able, still want to be following the series. Because I want to thank everybody that has followed the series. And I know this year, I was hoping to get 3 seasons in, but just the way with the gameplay this year was a little bit better than last year. Or actually, a little bit better than the last couple of Maddens. I didn't get 21, but it was tough trying to really get back into Madden this year. I think with 23 coming out, it still has some issues with 23. There's still some quirks about it. But I think it's got me with this series, how the series went. Now going to the new series, I'm more ready. I'm more prepared. I'm more excited about this this next series with the Buffalo Bills. And if you guys have not seen that series, definitely go check it out. I'll leave a link somewhere up in the eye there or down below in the description there, because right now it's been a lot of fun playing that. But there you see overall 85 overall, 84 defense, 85 offense, 84 defense, 84 overall. Not bad at all. That, like I said, that'll definitely increase as I really think this will be a team. I don't think we'll go undefeated because we got lucky, but I definitely say we definitely will be back in the playoffs. We're definitely a playoff team again. So, but again, we'll see how that all plays out here once we try to get this series back up and running again, but as a live stream series. So, but that's it for me, you guys. Again, next time you'll probably see this series will probably be in a live stream format, and I will let you guys know. Just follow us on the community tab here on YouTube or on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter there at ESGNet YT. That's what it is. ESGNet YT. So follow us over there, and follow our other social medias down below in the description for when this date of the live stream is going to be, and of course if the series is going to continue. I'm hoping to continue. I really want to. I really need to. We'll see how things come about. Like I always say, anytime I do a series on here and we have to go away with it for whatever reason, the series is never dead. It's still around, like all the other Madden series we had on here. They're just going away for a bit. We may bring them back for another iteration of some sort, but they're never really over with. So, but that's it for you guys. That's it for me. As always, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you happen to be new. Hit that bell notification so you guys be notified of this series, and of course our new series on Madden 2030 with the Buffalo Bills. Definitely, again, check that out. I'll leave a link down below for that series. As always, thank you guys so much for the support and love for this series, and of course obviously for both for this channel and the ESGNet Plus LP channel. But as always, keep yourselves really healthy, and I will see you all next time.